It's not master mode. Sorry guys, been away for a while. And honestly, right now, I'm doing the real cheap and easy and fast and quick way of doing this by recording this live while I'm actually playing the game. Like, most times, I don't do that. But I got a comment saying, what if I beat a level without hydraulics, considering, you know, I'm known for the hydraulics tutorials, which are pretty cool and you should check them out, but, you know, that. What if we don't do that? And I thought to myself, have I beaten these without hydraulics? And the answer was yes, I did. I actually had beaten quite a few of these levels without hydraulics. I was like, huh, how many do I have left to go? No. Yes, okay, here we go. First drawbridge. So in this one, you literally, like, yeah, you can do stuff like that. But that's well beyond the scope of what, you know, we're doing here. You don't even, literally, you can just whoop, clear this all the way and just go over the damn thing. I mean, like, so many of these levels are just solved by either A, going over the boat, or B, making a very overcomplicated mechanism that takes like 3 hours to build. But we'll get to that. Like, some of them are just like that easy. But they get harder. No. Yes, okay, here we go. Stop and go. It's just another go over level. There's a lot of these. Easy peasy. Yes, okay, here we go. Redraw. Now, with this one, you have to build a drawbridge, right? The boat goes through and you need to move it out of the way. Answer, no you don't. Not at all. Yeah, no hydro. Literally, you can just push it over. What else? Yes, here we go. Hydraulic management. So this time, you're supposed to be learning how to use the hydraulic controller. It gives you this thing. Because, like, you know, you're supposed to be able to, you know, use the hydraulic to, like, turn on and off the phases, so you don't, like, you know, use this phase to do stuff. But we can't beat the level like that. We gotta do the jump. There's some really clever stuff going on with that piece of road at the end, but we don't have time for that. World 1, that was it. Took what? 2 minutes 40? But there's more to go. No. Yes, here we go. Long drawbridge. Turns out, you can just leave a gap. Easy as that. No. Yes. Roundabout. This is another one where you would think you need a drawbridge to, you know, move this end around, but nope, you don't. You can just go over it. No. Yes. Split out level. Yet another go-over level. A lot of World 1 and 2 is fairly straightforward. No. Yes. Air show. I have, like, a lot of ways of solving this one. Like, way too many. That'll work. There's lots of ways to do it. But I think my favorite one is this one. Yes. Dip and drop. Okay, now, this is where things get a little bit interesting. We have springs. And when we have springs, we can do some very, very interesting stuff. Like carry it. And the patented just drop the bridge up into the void. No. Yes. Now stowaway. How do you make it so that the semi-truck can get past and this guy can get back up? Because his horsepower is pretty weak and he's not going to be able to tackle very many hills. Well, there's a solution. May surprise you. And it is basically just drive straight into it. Oh, and we have a little catch guy on this thing to keep it all in place. Otherwise, we will just squeeze and drag this guy off the end. But, you know, with enough struggling, this guy's got the horsepower to drag that guy up. This thing is extra strong to stay in place. And when we get to the end, we'll just drop off the split joint and wait for the hydraulic phase, which doesn't do anything anymore. And this guy will make his way off and drive up this, which is just barely weak enough for him. And keeping him upright was kind of a major pain in the ass. But there you go. You don't even need springs for this. Although it would have helped. Now we're on to World 3. No. Yes, here we go. Doubling down. Ah, okay. This one is my favorite. Because we have springs. Which means we can do some very fun stuff. This guy... This guy has enough horsepower where he can climb up this hill no problem. But the taxi... This is where it gets interesting. The taxi for this level seems to have idle on downhill enabled. Now what that means is that when he goes downhill, he can speed up faster than what his maximum top speed is. Which means he can make this jump. But that's not why I like this level so much. It's because we can do this. The Model T is the only guy who needs to get the checkpoint. No. Yes, here we go. So while this plays out, let me blow your mind a little bit further. There's actually an even harder version of this challenge called the Road Wood Steel Challenge, where you only get to use road, wood, and steel. Am I doing that? Hell no. That was a group effort by the Polybridge 2 community server, and Burning Curtains made a compilation video of all the levels solved that way. I've linked it below. No. Yes. This is where the first level that really started to make me think really hard showed up. I didn't have a previous solve of this one, because why would you? But we have springs. So you can do some very, very weird stuff. Like whatever the hell that was. And yeah, the boat clears. But these things weigh so dramatically different. We're just casually just driving across like nothing ever happened. And of course, now we get to the one where my hydraulic tutorial would have been useful to, you know, do normally. That's not what we're doing now. That's all just a big counterweight. And we're just gonna dump this guy up there. And the van is gonna just drive on this thing, which is a teeter-totter that'll flip over. And he will eventually get there. Give it enough time. Perfect. No. Next world, edgy. The placement of that boat means that it's much too steep to put a ramp there. But we have a solution for that. We can just shove him out of the way. His horsepower wasn't strong enough to withstand a spring just shoving him backwards. And now we have a pretty easy just dodge the boat level. Let him run down. Get his checkpoint, boat comes through. Easy miss on that. And right back to the flag. No. Yes. This is another one where we have springs and only one of the car needs to get a checkpoint, so you know what that means? We're carrying it. And we'll just drop that into the void. Triple-decker drawbridge. Okay. You've seen carrying vehicles by stacking them on top of each other. Get ready for carrying vehicles by slinging them underneath each other. No. Yes, here we go. Oh yeah, this is the ones I already have a solve for. I'll just throw it up for you. Land on those. Here we go. Yeah, we just throw that into the void. Boat dodges. Come back up and over. And as the name says, we land on the nose. Oh, yes. This one, I admit, I had some fun with. Because when I solved it the first time, no hydro, that wasn't what I was solving for. I was solving for road only. Now you may be wondering, what the heck is this? Why do those fall out of the air? Well, you'll see in a moment. This guy has a little ramp to drive on top of the tow truck. And now this little jump makes him land on those. Because that little lip would kill all of his speed. And the reason why they're not attached is because the tow truck was there first, so I can't build there, and because the tow truck can push those out of the way. Here we have another level where the solution is simply just to go around. Like, he really does struggle getting up this. But it's just barely not steep enough for him to do it. And we can just throw that away into the void because we don't need it anymore. Goodbye, road. That blimp is slow as all hell, so we'll just speed that up. Oh yeah, this car's slow too. Easy victory in the bag. Now, yes. You'd think the road limit would be a real big limit on this, but you'd be right. So the solution is simply just to make this mess. Oh yeah, and then this guy just is another teeter-totter. So this one, I figured, I might be able to get away with making another pretty steep ramp, and that's exactly what I did. It turns out that the slope is kinda steep, so I need to put a little bit of a weight on the front nose of that truck to get him to, like, power through it. But he makes it over. And then, we do have the hydraulic phases, so we can let stuff go and disconnect split joints and that kind of stuff. And with springs, you know, it's infinitely easy. So we'll just wait for that submarine to go by. He makes that easy little jump. And of course, this guy makes that pretty easy jump and gets the flag. Oh, yes. This one, I thought it was going to be tough. Turns out I solved it like a month ago, or more than that. Step 1 is to have the taxi open a trapdoor for the limo, and step 2 is to beat the rest of the level. And then we wait for the compact car to go through. And after that, we're just knocking over trapdoors, and it's smooth sailing. Thank God that compact car has a bajillion horsepower. No, yes. This level sucked. This level sucked a lot. Like, I spent so long on this one. I have this straight line bridge that's like so close to working. But like, it just barely falls apart, and it's so close to the budget. And so I had to completely redo it and go like this. And this is a very boring solve because it's just springs doing spring shenanigans. And it took so long to solve. But hey, it is under budget and it does work once that guy catches on. No. Still no. There we go. All together now. This one was pretty straightforward once I figured out what I was doing, which was I'm making counterweights. There we go. This one is kind of a gimme, because honestly, nobody solved this with hydros. Like, literally. I made a special solve for using the hydro phase. Like, I'm going to show you guys that, because most everyone solves this thing without hydros. Because who's going to use this phase in the middle? Answer, me, to put the bridge in place, because I thought that was kind of cool. But that's not what you're here to see anyway. You're here to see it hydroless. So let's go load up my default solve, which, you know, is basically the same thing, just with springs. I actually had to ask the server for a little bit of help with this one, basically asking them what the heck they did. And they said, oh yeah, both sides are just the same thing. When one side goes up, the other side goes down. So I was like, oh, yeah, you're right. That is what's going on here. And we have hydro phases, so I can just tell it to ignore changing on this phase till both of them go. Then I unclick my split joints. Everything flips over, goes into place. I got a little weight down here to pull this end down. It pulls this end up. This end locks in place. This end has got the weight keeping it in place, and then it locks in place on the next phase, and it's all good. Even though, I mean, this guy's not as heavy as that guy, so it doesn't really matter. No. And this is the one probably everyone's been waiting to see. Double duty. Because this, if you can't tell, is kind of a pain in the ass to get working. So I'm going to just like slow it way down. And we're going to go over what the hell's going on. Starting over here, the split joint allows this thing to fall into the ground so that the bus can work its way on top. And then this slope is like just barely, I mean just barely below the wheel slip point on this guy. And it just barely clears it. And we get over here, and the first hydro phase goes. But we're not ready for that yet. We gotta talk about this guy. This guy has a counterweight, and so he will flip up into place when the hydro phase goes. That unlocks him and lets him free. Now we have to worry about the van getting up. And the van has this entire platform that flips up into place. And the reason why it's not flipping up right now, and what makes it hard, is I don't have a hydraulic controller, so I have to actually release it manually. So this little piece of road is the last thing that's keeping this entire thing in tension. So once that falls into the water, now this is going to start pulling up. But we have to wait for this thing to fall all the way down and the water friction to slow it down enough to where it doesn't rip the damn thing apart. And now that it's doing that, and now that it's starting to get pulled tight, we're now lifting this bridge up and into place. And I have a mechanical lock that clicks in to hold it to make sure it stays there. And then wait for the truck to get across. And it's solved. Now, the World 6 levels, I never did. Like, well, I did them, but I didn't do them without a hydro. Like, yeah, this one you can do without hydros, and I have a solve for it. I do have a solve for this one, but we're not ready for a World 6 video yet. But I can show you a sneak preview. Now, some of you may be asking, where's Master Mode? Where have you been? Holy crap, you're not dead? And the answer to those is, I forgot what I just told you, and no, I am not dead. But I have a lot of things going on right now. I thought I was working on like 1 or 2 secret projects, but it turns out I forgot about like 2 others, and I'm like have like 4 secret projects going on right now that I can't tell you anything about because that's the whole point of a secret project. But just know that these secret projects are totally worth it, and you should be excited about them. Also, we're getting really close to 1,000 subs, and I have no idea what to do for a 1,000 subscriber special. So if you have like any suggestions on like what I should do at 1,000 subs, like leave it in the comments. But anyways, thank you all so very much for watching. I have been the Lazy Comet, and I hope you'll keep me in your orbit.